Very important for music supervisors to keep accurate logs of all the music placed in a television show, an ad, a film, or whatever, and submit that log to the PROs. These are called cue sheets. It can be very time consuming, so make sure you factor it into your budget so that you're paid for this period of time. Cue sheet generation and maintenance are probably one of the most important things that a music supervisor does because it ensures that the writers and publishers receive the correct public performance royalties. The PROs have vast computer databases of all of the music they have, okay? The music supervisor logs and submits cue sheets regularly, explaining how the music was used, how much of it was used, how it was used, and so forth, so that people can be paid proper performance royalties. Cue sheets are a separate function than licensing. They're done once the film is completed, okay? And very important because if you don't submit the cue sheets or underreport usage of songs, then the composers and songwriters will be a lot less likely to work with you in the future, and it may ensnare you in some legal actions to claim proper royalties. There's no standard cue sheet, but they all contain basically the same information. ASCAP has a template that's also provided to you on FSO, and it includes information at the top on the project, the series title, the episode title and number, the air date, show length, the production company information, and so forth. If there are multiple songwriters, all of them must be on the cue sheet. Also, don't use stage names. All of the artists are individually listed with their PROs. They don't use their stage names. And you never use a band name. You'd have to include the specific writers. Composers may help draft cue sheets because they're very concerned that everything is correct because it's very important in how they're paid. Now, cue sheets and all of your licenses and so forth are confidential work product. So you don't want to show them to people outside of your department, okay? Letting the composer look at them can be a good idea. They may find errors, it creates positive relations, and oftentimes they have approval of cue sheets in their composing contract, okay? But again, you don't want to show it outside your department. After you fill out the cue sheet, it goes to the PROs, okay, either through email or proprietary systems, okay, that you can create the cue sheets and then instantaneously submit them. There is a sample in your book, and as well, there's a template available from ASCAP. Here's the ASCAP sample here. As you can see at the top, the series film title is for Manatees, okay? It's a 5-minute video documentary, estimated air date October 30th, 2011. The information on the right, the company name, refers to the production company that you're working for. And then you would be that contact person. So if the PRO had a question, then they would know what production company, how to contact you to answer any questions. As for cue number, that's lists the order of appearance. So all along the Watchtower in this particular thing is the only song in the thing. But if you were had multiple music, you would put each one in order of appearance, okay? The use refers to how it's used. The timing, 2 minutes and 31 seconds. So again, if it's 15 seconds, it would not be as valuable if they used 2.5 minutes of it. The composer is Bob Dylan, again, use their real names. He is affiliated with SESAC. So the affiliation means which PRO are they a member of. And the percentage refers to how much of the writer's share do they control. And in this case, since there's only one writer, Bob Dylan, he controls 100% of the writer's share. The publisher is Sony ATV, also affiliated with SESAC, and they control 100% of the publisher's share. So in terms of the use codes, MT means main titles. That's the opening sequence where they say, starring so-and-so, directed by so-and-so, okay? The end titles are at the end of the show, the crawl that goes across with all of the names at the end of the show. So if it's used as a visual vocal, that means that someone is singing it on camera. If it's a visual instrumental, then it means there's no lyrics, but there's people playing it on camera. Okay, you see them playing it. If it's a background vocal or a background instrumental, it takes place in the background. So maybe the scene takes place in a club, in a nightclub, and you hear music playing in the background. Okay. The theme means it's used in multiple episodes of a television program. So the theme song to, Star Trek or Friends or whatever, okay? So based on how it's used, it determines how valuable it is. Obviously a theme, if it's used every episode, that's very important. Or if it's used in the main titles, it's more important than in the end titles. If it's on screen, a visual, then it's more important than if it's background. Okay, so those are the ways they determine how much the songwriter and publisher can collect. Here's an example for just a local TV station. So if something's in syndication and plays on a local television station, okay, if it's full feature during kind of prime time, 4 p.m. to 1 a.m., then they collect 5 minutes if it's more than 45 seconds. Other times of day, it's not as valuable, $1.50, okay? If it's a theme, again, $2. If it's background, less, and then the logo. So the fees vary according to how prominent it is in the program. Here's a sample ASCAP statement. This would come in to the member with their member name, ID, etc. And then it tells you how much your royalties would be, and a check would be included. So as you know, the best way to search for accurate song information is to go to the PRO databases. They each have their own repertory search where you can look by title of the song, by writer, or by performer, and other ways.